Good evening to our viewers watching on television and to those joining us across our social media platforms. I am Daniela Arajo with the Thursday, August 6th edition of the Guyana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, President Ali eyes cargo launch and poultry project to cut cost of living. Guyana Fire Service raises the bar on building safety with sprinkler requirement. U.S. Ambassador tells Peace Corps volunteers they're arriving at Guyana's most important moment after MV BARIMA tragedy. Beyond concrete and streetlights, Melanie's Makeover Challenge is saving the soul of the village. And President Ali unveils social housing drive, government service hub for Region 1's most vulnerable. And now for the news in depth. The United States Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Terriot, on Wednesday administered the oath of service to Peace Corps Guyana's 37th group of volunteers, telling them they are beginning their 2-year mission at a particularly significant time for the country following the MV BARIMA tragedy. Here's more in this report.
Addressing the volunteers, Ambassador Theriot said their service would extend beyond their official duties as they work alongside communities still grappling with recent events. The new group of Peace Corps volunteers completed several weeks of training before taking the oath and will now be deployed across Ghana to support programs in education, literacy, and community development. Their assignments are expected to place them in communities where they would work closely with residents, schools, and local organizations over the next 2 years. Ambassador Theriot acknowledged that the volunteers would face challenges during their service, but encouraged them to remain resilient and committed to their mission. She noted that while difficult days are inevitable, those experiences would be balanced by meaningful moments that reinforce the value of their work and the relationships they build.
To the members of Guide 37 and our response volunteers, you arrived at a very important moment. The bonds you will build with your communities will have an added resonance in this time of sadness. This will be a life-changing experience for you. You will have hard days, days when nothing seems to go as planned, and I can tell you, here in Guyana, that happens.
Theriot stressed that the volunteers' presence in communities would carry added significance as Guyana continues to mourn the lives lost in the MV BARIMA tragedy. She encouraged the group to embrace the opportunity to serve with compassion while forming lasting connections with the people they will support throughout their assignments. The Peace Corps program has maintained a long-standing partnership with Guyana, focusing on strengthening communities through volunteer service in key development sectors. The latest cohort is expected to contribute to improving educational outcomes, promoting literacy initiatives, and supporting community-based projects aimed at enhancing local capacity. As the volunteers officially begin their service, Ambassador Theriot reminded them that perseverance would be essential throughout their journey. She said the experience would not only impact the communities they serve, but would also shape their own personal and professional growth for years to come.
Just pick yourself up and keep moving. And you will also have those days that remind you exactly why you're here.
Adana Dark, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Irfan Ali has unveiled an ambitious plan to tackle the high cost of living in Region 1 by supporting a youth-led cargo transport business and launching a poultry production project aimed at reducing food prices in hinterland communities. The proposals were among several economic measures announced during Wednesday's cabinet outreach in Santa Rosa. More details in this report.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali said transportation remains one of the biggest contributors to the high prices residents pay for essential goods, with shop owners consistently pointing to freight costs as the primary reason food sells well above market value. The president said government must find innovative ways to reduce those costs while creating local economic opportunities. One proposal involves involving a cargo launch service between Charity and Muruka Sub-District. Through support from the Guyana Development Bank, groups of young people would be encouraged to form a business consortium to transport food and cargo at fairer rates while operating with what the president described as a social conscience.
I was speaking to the Tushao, and we were talking about the possibility of having a goods launch from Charity, bringing only food items and cargo in to the Muruka Sub-District and Santa Rosa and these areas. One in which, through the Guyana Development Bank, when we start that, we could put together a consortium of young people who can develop this as a business, but a different type of business. A business with a social conscience and a business with social responsibility, so that we can have an arrangement to allow goods to come into the community at a fair transportation cost.
The president also announced plans to develop a poultry industry within the sub-region, arguing that producing chicken locally would significantly reduce one of the area's biggest household expenses. He said the government wants to partner with young people and women to build sustainable businesses while increasing food security. President Ali stressed that improving transportation alone will not solve the cost of living challenge. Instead, the head of state said the strategy must combine better roads, expanded agricultural production, stronger private sector responsibility, and increased local manufacturing to lessen dependence on imported goods. He also encouraged communities to expand cultivation of crops such as ginger and other agricultural products that could be transported back to charity, creating two-way trade opportunities and strengthening local economies.
We have to address the issue of transportation. We have to address the issue of food production. We have to address the issue of infrastructure. And we also have to address the issue of the private sector not applying predatory approaches to vulnerable communities, especially our hinterland and riverine communities.
According to the head of state, the government is prepared to work directly with every community through the Guyana Development Bank and agricultural programs to ensure Region 1 becomes more productive, resilient, and economically self-sufficient.
More news after the break. Do stay with us.
I know you have work to do, but come, I just need a minute of your time. It won't even take that long. So, I have a proposal. We could do besties in Punta Cana. Really need a getaway. And not to worry, I went to Sunita Travel Agency and they recommended a few hotels that do all-inclusive stays. And they're very affordable. The vibes. Let me tell you something. We do not want to miss a trip to Punta Cana. Why? Ziplining. No, I know this is not your vibe, but please, listen. Hold on, wait. I know you like throw it back. There's a boat party. We could go there. And then there's this thing called buggy adventure, some buggy something. I don't know, but I want to be a buggy or whatever it is. I just want to be a part of it. And then we got snorkeling. Oh, this thing is so ugly. Please, you be next to uglier things than this. Stop it. Trust me, you're going to love it. It'll be just you and me, Punta Cana, drinks, just having the time of our life. Not to worry. We've got many flight options, and they made sure that they went through it with me. The prices are affordable. Trust me. I know you like thinking about the budget or whatever. Remember the time when we went and we missed the flight? Yeah, when we booked with Sunita Travel Agency, even if it happens, with slim chance, they'll know what to do and we won't be stranded like we did the last time. This solid plan. You, me, Punta Cana. Cheap. It won't even hurt your pocket. Please say yes. Yes.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. The Guyana Fire Service is reminding developers and property owners that any building rising 3 stories or higher must be equipped with a sprinkler system before receiving approval as part of measures designed to enhance fire safety and protect lives and property. The reminder comes as authorities continue to emphasize compliance with established fire prevention standards amid increasing construction activity across the country. More details in this report.
Operational Officer Robin Thomas said the fire service primary responsibility is to ensure that buildings are designed with adequate safety features to reduce the risk of fire-related disasters. He explained that sprinkler system remains one of the key requirements for multi-story buildings submitted to the agency for review and approval.
Our mandate, or I should say, is to ensure buildings are safe. All right, we protect lives and property from the destruction by fires. Currently, there are established protocols and recommendations for buildings 3 floors and up must be fitted with a sprinkler system.
Officer Thomas acknowledged that installing sprinkler systems can be costly and may not be financially feasible for owners of smaller buildings. However, he stressed that the requirement specifically targets larger structures where the risk to occupants increases significantly, making automatic fire suppression systems an essential safety feature. For smaller residential and commercial buildings, the fire service recommends a range of more affordable fire safety measures. These includes the installation of fire extinguishers, the smoke alarm system, both of which can provide early warning and help control fires before the spread.
So you have a building and you want to build a building 3 floors and up, and you submit a plan to the fire department, better ensure the number 1 recommendation, you must have a sprinkler system. Sprinkler systems are very expensive, and the average man with a 1 flat building might not be able to have a sprinkler system installed because it's very expensive. However, fireballs, fire extinguishers, smoke alarm systems, those are recommended for the lower, smaller scale buildings.
The fire service is urging developers to incorporate the requirement fire protection systems during the planning and design stages of construction to avoid delays in the approval process. Officials say compliance with these standards is critical to improving emergency preparedness and reducing the potential loss of family and property in the event of a fire. As Guyana's urban landscape continues to expand with the construction of taller residential and commercial buildings, the Guyana Fire Service says adherence to fire safety regulations remains a vital component of responsible development. The agency is encouraging all property owners and developers to work closely with its officer to ensure new structures meet the country's fire safety requirements before construction process. At Danadar, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Irfan Ali has announced a sweeping package of social and public service initiatives for Region 1, including a new social housing program targeting vulnerable residents and the establishment of a one-stop government service center in Santa Rosa. Here's more details in this report.
The announcement came during Wednesday's cabinet outreach at Santa Rosa Secondary School, where residents were invited to raise concerns directly with government ministers. The head of state said the proposed social housing program will focus on persons living with disabilities, single mothers, and the elderly, describing the initiative as a priority raised by community leaders. The head of state said the program is intended to ensure vulnerable groups have access to basic, dignified housing while improving their overall quality of life. Beyond housing, President Ali revealed plans to transform the existing post office into a fully integrated government service center. The facility is expected to house services from the General Register Office, GRO, the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA, Postal Services, Digital ID Registration, an ATM, and an Agricultural Extension Officer, reducing the need for residents to travel to Georgetown for routine government transactions.
The government is ready to partner with every single community and here too in Santa Rosa and Maruca to ensure that we can do this together. The second issue that your leaders and you would have raised is that of housing. Because especially for persons living with disability, especially for single mothers and the elderly, these 3 categories of persons. So over the coming weeks and months ahead of us, we are going to launch a housing initiative to support these categories of persons in social housing.
President Ali said the center will also create employment opportunities for residents, noting that people from the community will be trained to operate the facility. He added that the hub will also support online learning opportunities, allowing residents to pursue gold scholarship programs without leaving the region.
We also provided the opportunity for persons to be trained as teachers right in the region. And in that government service center, we would want to expand the opportunity so that those of you who want to do programs under the Gold Scholarship can have the opportunity from right here in the region. So we are not thinking only about a post office. We are thinking about something much larger, much grander in this government service center.
The president said the government remains committed to making public services more accessible while ensuring hinterland communities receive the same opportunities as those on the coast. He stressed that the outreach was designed to hear directly from citizens and shape government priorities around their concerns. The head of state also pointed to ongoing investments in roads, healthcare, education, and electricity, arguing that the new initiative builds on broader efforts to improve living standards across Region 1. According to President Ali, the government intends to continue expanding services while strengthening economic opportunities for residents. The announcement forms part of a wider cabinet outreach across Region 1, with ministers deployed to communities throughout the region to engage residents and gather feedback on local development priorities. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Do stay with us.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. A new vision for village life in Guyana was unveiled in Melanie as President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali challenged residents to imagine a community where infrastructure, dignity, culture, safety, and economic opportunity come together. More details in this report.
The public consultation on the Model Village Initiative positioned Melanie as the pilot community for a national transformation program aimed at reshaping how villages are planned, developed, and experienced by citizens. The president said the future of communities must go beyond roads and buildings, arguing that a truly successful village must create a sense of belonging, pride, and ownership among residents. He emphasized that communities are built through the relationships between neighbors, the protection of the environment, and the values of respect, love, and dignity that guide everyday life.
Stronger, resilient, and sustainable communities are communities that are built to last. Communities that are built to ensure the space in which you live is not only pleasing to the eyes and physically, but that space give a sense of belonging. That space give a sense of pride.
According to the president, the initiative is designed to address the full ecosystem of community development, from drainage and security to business growth, recreation, and cultural preservation. He said villages must have spaces where children can play safely, elderly residents can enjoy their surroundings, families can gather freely, and local traditions can continue to thrive. The transformation of villages, he noted, is critical because the majority of Guyanese continue to live in these communities. Engineers, planners, and development specialists presented findings from assessments carried out in Melanie and neighboring Nurni, identifying major infrastructure and environmental challenges while outlining proposed solutions. The assessment found approximately 1,730 households, 73 roads, 44 businesses, 5 government facilities, and multiple places of worship across the area. Plans include improved drainage systems, walkways, upgraded public spaces, additional street lighting, tree planting, fire safety improvements, and better community facilities.
Today, it's a celebration of tradition. Your community might have a tradition to have the best food. Another community might have the tradition to have the best pineapple. How do we intersect those traditions and celebrate it? It's an important part of regional planning. How do we create spaces that would allow the culture of the community to grow and not to die away? How we'll have these public open spaces be transformed into talent stages for the community, for the young people? How do we ensure that the people, the environment, ecology, all intersect to bring this type of quality of life that will enable every single person not only to live their best life, but also to have a mindset, a thinking process, a positivity ratio that allows them always to put the community first.
Among the proposed upgrades are 26,900 meters of walkways, 32,200 meters of hardened shoulders, improvements to 43,400 meters of drainage systems, the installation of 43 fire hydrants, replacements of 100 utility poles, and addition of 122 streetlights. Officials also identified the need to upgrade playgrounds, create green spaces, establish industrial parking areas, and organize entertainment zones to reduce conflicts between residential life and commercial activities. The assessment also highlighted social and environmental issues affecting the community, including overgrown drains, roadside garbage, abandoned vehicles, unregulated vending areas, and construction materials blocking public spaces. Officials said the goal is not to remove livelihoods, but to organize them better, proposing cleaner vending areas and the community spaces that could attract visitors while supporting small businesses.
And now for your Caribbean news brief. Massive sargassum invasion threatens Caribbean tourism and marine life. A record influx of sargassum seaweed is once again blanketing beaches across the Caribbean, creating major challenges for tourism, fishing, and coastal communities. Scientists say millions of tons of floating seaweed have accumulated across the region, releasing foul odors as it decomposes and disrupting marine ecosystems. The thick mats have also affected sea turtle nesting sites and coral reefs, while businesses in several Caribbean destinations report declining visitor activity due to seaweed-covered beaches. Regional governments continue to invest in cleanup operations and explore ways to convert the seaweed into products such as compost and biofuel, but experts warn the problem is expected to persist. CARICOM media leaders to gather in Guyana for Regional AI Summit. Georgetown is preparing to host the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 57th Annual General Assembly from August 17 to the 19th, bringing together media executives, journalists, and technology leaders from across the region. The conference will focus on the future of Caribbean media in the age of artificial intelligence, digital transformation, and regional collaboration. Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali is expected to deliver the keynote address during the opening ceremony as broadcasters discuss the opportunities and challenges AI presents for Caribbean journalism and content creation. Now turning to the international news. NASA astronaut complete first spacewalk aboard ISS. Indian origin NASA astronaut Anil Menon has successfully completed his first spacewalk aboard the International Space Station, marking a major milestone in his spaceflight career. The 6.5-hour mission involved critical maintenance and upgrades to the orbiting laboratory as part of preparations for future scientific research and missions. Menon's achievement has been widely celebrated as another significant moment in international space exploration. Record oil prices push fuel costs higher worldwide. Global fuel prices are climbing once again as oil markets react to supply concerns, sending the cost of petrol and diesel higher in several countries. The latest increase has raised transportation costs for businesses and consumers alike, with analysts warning that prolonged price hikes could place additional pressure on inflation and household budgets. Governments are closely monitoring the situation amid concerns over the wider economic impact. Those are the major headlines for tonight's newscast. For more trending stories, follow us on our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUYTV9. I am Daniela Araju. Thank you for joining us. Do have a good evening and bye for now.